Hello, and welcome to this session on mindfulness for self-care. My name is Katie Sheen. I'm a registered nutritional therapist, qualified back in 2008, and established my private practice in South Manchester. And I was lucky to be part of an award-winning team. So we won CAM Clinic of the Year back in 2010. But I discovered mindfulness a long time before that, and always it was for me. I never intended to teach it at that point, but it became clear to me when I was in clinical practice that a lot of the people that I was helping, I could look at them and think, you know what, if you could relax, if you could see things more clearly, if you could be happier, basically, I think a lot of your physical symptoms would drop away, and then I could see more clearly where I really needed to use my nutritional expertise to support you. So I began to weave mindfulness into my teaching from about 2011. And at that time, I was module leader for MSc Nutritional Therapy at the University of Worcester. I was also teaching at a number of other colleges and offering CPD events for health practitioners, which I still do. During that period, my own mindfulness practice continued to deepen, and I'm now a course leader in the Plum Village tradition of Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, which is where I primarily practice, and I'm also an accredited breathworks teacher. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2014, treated in 2015, early 2015, and it was a very long road back to recovery, quite a lot of physical pain. And I really wanted to take my personal experience of how both nutrition and mindfulness has supported me throughout my recovery and bring that back into my teaching. So I trained as an accredited breathworks teacher, and I now offer their 8 weeks course, Mindfulness for Health, and that's open both to health practitioners and also to those living with pain, fatigue, anxiety, and ill health. So let's begin with just a couple of ideas about what mindfulness is. So it originates from the Buddhist tradition, but you don't have to believe anything at all. And that for me is one of the things that I really enjoy about it. It's really a way of reflecting deeply about what is happening for us. So in the present moment, noticing when we're caught in the past or in the future, but really looking deeply at what we're thinking and how we are reacting to the world, so that we can then learn to respond rather than react. And I think of it as a cyclical way of listening deeply to ourselves, which again is where I think it's really helpful for our clients as well, is so that they can gain insights that when they share with us as their practitioner, we can then see where the main issues are in order to help them move forward. So it's always underpinned with this compassionate curiosity. And I love that phrase because it includes this idea of a kindness. Curiosity has got a gentleness to it. So we're looking at, well, that's interesting. How am I feeling at the moment? And I wonder why that is. So it's got those levels of awareness, actually being aware of how we are in the present moment. It's quite interesting when you speak to people, or sometimes perhaps with yourself, there's just this general underlying sense of life's not great. And until we can start to pull that apart, we can't see how we can help things to transform and to change. So it's first of all that awareness, what's really going on here. There's an acceptance of, wow, I didn't want to find that, but that's the way it is. So we learn not to turn away from things that are difficult. And we have this non-judgmental aspect. So again, going back to that idea of this compassion is, wow, well, that's just the way that I am. And I wonder why I'm like that and how I can best support myself, bearing in mind who I am and what's going on in my life at the moment. So we gain this clarity. And that's partly why also we learn to just slow down. And again, probably you see this with a lot of your clients, is they're so busy running through life that they need to slow down in order to take care of themselves and communicate with you, but also to allow you to support them. Because unless people create a bit of space in their life, then it's difficult to take on board any kind of behavioural change. So the clarity leads to the insight, which is very unique for each person. And then that gives us a choice. So I like the fact as well that we have this choice in mindfulness. We don't have to act immediately. And for a lot of people, just learning to sit with, wow, I am naturally quite an anxious person and I hate feeling anxious. So every time I feel anxious, I want to fight it or run away or struggle. And so for a lot of people, the initial part of mindfulness practice is just going, okay, so this is anxiety and this is how it feels in my body. And if I can learn to respond to it calmly, then it can transform in its own time into a greater sense of peace or of inner strength, for example. So even helping people to admit what's difficult in their lives and to sit with that long enough to look at it more deeply can be a really transformative part of mindfulness practice. But today it's about self-care, both for ourselves as practitioners, but also helping our clients to care for themselves in the way so that then they can take our suggestions into their lives. So self-compassion is crucial, and I'd really recommend the work of Kristin Neff, who's one of the leading global researchers on self-compassion. She splits it into 3 areas. So there's mindfulness. So this is about the awareness, actually helping people to stop running or being caught in their thoughts long enough to really become aware of what's true for them. And to do that with this intention of self-kindness, but also importantly, to feel less alone, to feel part of common humanity. So this shared human experience, like, okay, so I've got a strong stress response, but that's because I'm human. And to understand the whole fight flight thing that I'm sure you explain to your clients on a regular basis, but to make them realize that it's not their fault they're like this, that this is what it means to be human and how we can respond to our human experience with kindness. So today I've been asked to primarily offer you a practice to participate in. And this is really important because it moves us from an intellectual understanding of something to a felt understanding. And that's what a lot of mindfulness practices and meditations are all about, is actually, say, moving from thinking into feeling. And today I'm going to offer you a meditation to participate in, which has an emphasis on connection. So it's based on a metta or a loving kindness meditation, so self-compassion. But as I say, with this emphasis on this common humanity. So it's just a meditation. You can listen, you can open your eyes at any time, and you can get up to move about at any point. It's always important that we are listening to our body. So if partway through you think, no, I just need to get up and move around now, please do that. That's a real sign of success that you've listened to yourself. It's always a very gentle approach to the practices. It should feel as though, as I say, it's underpinned by that compassionate curiosity rather than forcing yourself to sit and practice. And remembering that this is about a compassionate curiosity. So if I suggest something and your immediate response is like, whoa, really don't want to do that, how to respond to that is think, wow, that is really interesting. I wonder why I have resistance to this, or what's going on for me. So feel free to kind of take a little bit of time to reflect on your reactions to the practice, if that feels more important than following the words. But try not to get caught in your thinking. Once you have gained some kind of insight, or if you feel as though you've hit a bit of a block, you can just say, okay, I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to come back to listening to the guidance. It's very normal that our minds wander during meditation. Each time you notice that happening, just with a sense of kindness, just think, what am I thinking about now? And where do I want to place my attention next? So let's begin. And obviously, I'm not sure when you're watching this recording. So if you've been sitting still for a long time, please feel free to start with some movement if you want to get up and just flex your spine for a little while and move around, then that's absolutely fine. A lot of people find it hard to settle into a meditation, but it can be really interesting to actually begin with movement and then to gradually settle into stillness. So I'll talk you through, and just take a seat whenever you're ready to join me. So I've been sitting here chatting to you for a little while, so I'm beginning to feel fairly settled now, but I want to move out of my thinking and into my body. So to help me to feel my body more clearly, I'm going to close my eyes. but you can do whatever feels right for you. So you can begin with your eyes open, you can let them just rest half closed, or you can close them completely whenever the moment feels right to you. And we're going to give our mind something to become curious about. So I'm going to suggest that maybe we ask our attention to come first of all to where our body is connected to the ground. So perhaps rocking your feet backwards and forwards, wiggling your toes, and then focusing in on how it feels to have a floor beneath your feet, the connection. Maybe noticing what you have on your feet and how the surface of the floor feels beneath you. And allowing your feet to settle into stillness in their own time. Each time your mind wanders off or dashes off to think about something else, perhaps suggesting to it that this is its opportunity to rest. So rather like a dog when it's tired will make its way over to somewhere comfortable, circle a few times, and then settle down. You offer your mind that opportunity just to settle. So settling its focus on your feet. Noticing your legs. Any sensations that might be there. Being really gentle with yourself if there's pain or something you don't like, just noticing that your mind wants to kind of run away a little bit. So just reassure it. It doesn't have to stay where it doesn't want to be. Let's find a part of the body that feels more well. Moving up your legs into your hips. Noticing the support of the chair beneath you. Play a bit here, because if you tense your body, can you feel you lift up and away? And if you relax your body, you settle down. So you can either stay on that felt sensation of contact, or you can begin to use your imagination. So imagining that pull of gravity, this incredible, beautiful force that holds us safe. Almost imagine it wrapping like a blanket around you. So a feeling of safety, security, and comfort. As your body starts to settle, maybe it becomes easier to sense the very gentle rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. As you take your attention to your breath, maybe your body wants to take 1 or 2 deep breaths, or maybe not. So in mindfulness, we don't change our breathing. We're practicing just allowing our body to breathe for us. Building up that trust that our body is supporting us. It's breathing all the time without us getting involved. There's a certain practice to not trying to control. Just allowing your body to breathe itself. If you don't like focusing on your breath, simply take your attention back to somewhere that feels more pleasant. Feet, connection with the chair perhaps. Letting yourself settle. Just tuning into your spine, checking that you're comfortable, taking good care of yourself. So if you need to move forward or back, straighten your spine, feel free to do that. Even just roll your hips backwards or forwards. There's a point at which your spine is really beautifully supported by your hips, enabling you to sit upright without any struggle at all. If today you're tired and want to lean back, then obviously do that too. As your spine finds a relaxed position, maybe you can notice your shoulders. Release the tension there, which naturally brings you to an awareness of your arms and your hands. Just taking a little while to offer your hands the opportunity to rest. I'm so busy. Find a position that feels right for them. Whatever feels comfortable. Perhaps noticing again the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. And if you like, you can imagine breathing in a sense of self-care. So breathing in, you can use that word care on the in-breath. And then on the out-breath, as you say the word care in your mind, you can imagine that sense of care dropping into your body so that you feel in the cells in your body a sense of being cared for. Maybe different words feel more important for you today, like kindness. Or compassion. So your sense of care or kindness or compassion actually moving into each cell. Hopefully inspiring a sense of deep relaxation or letting go. There's another word that you'd like to use, please use that. What is it that you need today? So making sure there's no struggle, just releasing tension in your jaw, your throat. Releasing tension in your face and in your eyes. Allowing yourself to feel cared for. And sometimes it's easier to get a sense of this if we imagine inviting a friend to join us in our imagination. So whilst maintaining an awareness of your body, sitting where you are, you can imagine inviting a really trusted friend to come and sit opposite you in your imagination, to settle down. Just sit together, both breathing. So really being aware you're both human, both breathing. You both have strengths. You both have weaknesses. Both want to be happy. Even though that sense of what will make you happy may be quite different. Both experience wonderful times. You both experience challenging times too. So noticing how it feels in your body when you offer support and kindness to your friend, offering them care. How do you feel when you care for someone else? You always offer care to others, you can become exhausted. So how does it feel to accept care from someone else? Mind becomes agitated, just offer it the rhythm of your breathing, the connection between your body and where you are in order to calm and settle again. moving into an awareness of both yourself and your friend, held in an atmosphere of care. And then just gently noticing that in this world there's not just you or a friend, there are many other people whom you know. So just in your imagination, inviting them in as well, noticing their breathing, the shared desire to be happy, strengths and weaknesses, the good times and the bad. All the times when life is fairly neutral. Whole of human experience ebbing and flowing between each and every one. Beyond that circle of people whom you know, there are all the people whom you don't know. In your neighborhood, country, across the globe. So many different life experiences, so many different situations, but all of us breathing, all of us wanting to be happy, all of us with strengths and weaknesses. Experiencing good times and challenging times. All the sliding scale of experiences between ebbing and flowing, breathing in, breathing out. So offering a sense of great care, kindness and compassion to all of these people, including yourself. Shared humanity. In, particularly aware of yourself, offering yourself care, and kindness and compassion. And letting that flow out towards others and back to yourself. Time, just bringing your imagination back in towards the circle of people you know, back in to the friend that you originally invited to sit with you. Resting here for a few breaths. thanking your friend and allowing them to return out of your imagination. Leaving you safe and secure, breathing in kindness and care and compassion until they fill every cell in your body and can then spill out, overflowing to help others. Or breathing in again to continue that wonderful cycle. As we gently bring the practice to a close, allowing your eyes to drift open, introducing movement into your feet, fingers, using all of your senses to connect to where you are, noticing what you can see, what you can hear, what you can touch, maybe what you can smell and taste. So I hope you enjoyed the practice. It's adapted from the Mindfulness for Health course by Breathworks. If you'd like to look up any more information about that. But to take forward that sense of being your own best friend, of really caring for yourself, perhaps you can take that sense of kindness and self-compassion to your everyday activities. So set an intention to be your own best friend. Actually reflect as often as you can throughout the day. Wow, well, considering how I am in this moment, how can I best support myself, take care of myself? You can shower or bathe, brush your teeth with kindness and tenderness. So often we are brushing our teeth and thinking of a million other things. And imagine if you were caring for someone else and how tenderly you would brush their teeth for them. Bringing a sense of that to yourself. So dressing yourself with a sense of protectiveness, nourishing, exercising and resting with that deep sense of care that I'm sure you know how to offer to others. It's practicing bringing that towards yourself. So thinking about each day, how will you nourish yourself? How will you nourish your happiness? So nourishing yourself on both a physical and emotional level. If you found it difficult to sit, you can always walk. It's the same kind of principles. You just coordinate your body and your breath, coordinating your steps with your breathing. And a lovely quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, to walk as if your feet are kissing the earth, which helps us to release any tension that we're holding. And we don't have to walk a long way, just even if you're walking around the house, just releasing that tension, settling in, letting your feet and legs carry you. And arriving in the present moment with each step, perhaps using words such as here and now, solid, free, peaceful, happy, whatever words feel right for you. And of course, if you're not able to walk and you do this, it's called a rolling meditation if you're within a wheelchair. So it's whatever sense of movement is possible for you. It's that sense of releasing tension, of enjoying whatever movement is possible and breathing in and out in rhythm with the rest of the world. So thank you very much indeed for your time today. There are lots more resources on my website, everything from other mindfulness meditations and podcasts, etc. lots of interactive resources and a pre-recorded course, if that's easier for you to do in your own time. As I mentioned, there are also the live courses if you'd like to explore any of this further. And of course, I offer regular CPD webinars and seminars that combine nutrition and mindfulness. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your time with all this wonderful learning, and I hope to see you again one day. Bye for now.